on a solar coaster, come along for the ride, yeah. The solar coaster's rolling, it feels so right. Hop on a solar coaster, come along for the ride.
Aloha, my name's Anna Covert, and this is a solar coaster, the wild ride through the solar industry told by the people who are living it every day. In the hot seat with me today is Lawrence Hanley of Desk Plants. Let's kick this party off. When did the sun first shine on your solar path? And I know that you're not exactly in solar, but
Sure.
as a green, product, and a lot of my solar clients have used your services. So, when I guess you can tell us a little bit more about how you first started using home services.
Sure. So, like home services for us, like on our area, or just what?
Home service companies, and tell us a little about Death Plants
Okay, sure.
and then how it works with home services.
Great. Okay. Sorry. I just want to make sure I was answering your question. So, um, the first thing you should know about our products with desk plants is that they are really, this is kind of punny, but rooted in appreciation, right? And so, whenever you have a home services business, whether it be solar or it could be landscaping, or maybe it's a broker who helps, close a new property with new home buyers, right? There is First off, it's usually a high ticket item, so people are willing to spend to say thank you in a meaningful way. And secondly, when you're sending a meaningful gift to appreciate somebody for their business and for signing up for whatever that service may be, you want to stand out. You want to make it sort of applicable to the home, right? And you really want to make sure that the value of that said product kind of comes through in the product itself. If you send a batch of cookies, I mean, that's nice. Who doesn't love a nice cookie? But I can't remember the last time somebody sent me a cookie. It doesn't jog on my memory.
You ate it, and that was it.
Exactly. It's gone. It's gone from memory, right? So the great thing about our plants, and we really started to get into the home services space really through real estate first. And that's where we started to notice the opportunity there. Uh, was just people were looking for something different. They were looking for something, again, like I said, applicable to the home with a high perceived value, so that when that recipient, the customer receives it, not only does the sender feel, comfortable in the quality being sent, but the recipient's like, oh wow, this is different. They thought about this. They put thought into this gift. So beyond the excellent service I've got, they made a personal connection to me, and therefore I'm willing to continue my business with this partner, right? So we broke in on the real estate side, but we started to get more and more opportunities we got lenders is kind of the next sort of path in there. There's an adjacent market there. And then you introduced us to the whole solar world, because really there's a ton of people that had been a lot of incentives to get solar installed on people's home units, and it's an investment, right? So there's just an opportunity, going back to what I said earlier. There's budget, there's willingness to send something nice, and our product really matched up with what the clients are trying to do in sending a high quality gift, to really say thank you with that extra personal touch.
Yeah, I think that's what I felt too. And one, you're right on that. You can give a gift basket, but you don't have that shelf life. And also, we're thinking really about the environmental impact. Here you have a green product. Here you're giving someone that's green. And I loved all those tips I learned from you about, how even having a tree inside the home or at the desk, in an office actually can lift morale and can, like, make people, it's huge even for, so think about that. Like, now here you are, you sign a contract, you're feeling really great about your decision. And in solar in particular, right after contract signed, a lot of people drop the ball. They're like, oh, next. Right. And that's a real disaster. It can be, right? Because if your project management team doesn't pick it up and carry the flag or whatever they're going to carry all the way, and there's really good communication and follow up, then it's easy to cancel. There's permit poaching now, where someone else will see that a permit was pulled and then they'll show up to the house with a better deal. And hey, if your salesman's not there, what is that reason that they're going to continue to be happy? Well, it's great communication, but I think a desk plant, do you have any there in the office? You can show up to pick up to the,
I got this little guy.
okay, he's cute.
Limited edition in my office. No, we we just moved into a new space, so we're still putting the finishing touches on everything. I know I should be eating my own dog food, as they say in sales. But in my prior offices. I certainly have had plenty of desk plants on my own desk.
Well,
But
we're gonna cut to some footage that I have from the show,
oh,
our
perfect.
where because we had Desk Plants was so gracious enough to send us plants for my booth, and people just loved them. And I have some footage there that we're gonna have inserted right now, so everyone can see them. What they look,
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome.
But I don't think that they're even that expensive. I mean, really, like these large plants that we sent for that one client, it was like $65 of shipping.
Yep. Yep.
And that's nothing, and then they last. Tell us about the shelf life because, there's a lot of people out there going, "Oh, well, other people do this," but they really don't. They don't have the same quality that you do. Tell me more.
Sure. So the plants that we curate are all known to be super hard to kill. So we have a selection, a pretty decent selection. I know people love that term. Uh, we have a pretty wide selection of plants, but we limit it to that selection because, you can go to your local nursery and you can find a plant that will be uber dramatic and die within 3 days if you don't water it with, distilled water and give it.
Yeah.
There's plenty of plants on the market for that, and there's plenty of people who are good at that. But for the most part, when you're sending to people who you just want a nice gesture and you don't want them to have that chore, that worry, and certainly you as a sender don't want to send something that's just going to die and disappear in a few weeks. That's why we consider thoughtfully what type of plants we bring to market. So your typical snake plants, we have smaller succulents, we have ZZ plants, money trees. These are all plants that really don't need any natural sunlight, so they could be in the center of the darkest office or house, away from any windows, and they'd be fine. And then on the other side, they don't need water more than once every 3 to 5 weeks. So if you're a traveler for business or passion, or you just maybe not, maybe you got a lot of other things on your plate, like little kids, right? And you just can't remember to do it every single month. They're not going to just die because you neglected it for one period, right? They
That's
might keep a
amazing.
stress sign, which is just a reminder, hey, I'd love some TLC. And then you just give it that TLC and it's good for the next 5 weeks. So when then how that applies to the gift, kind of your original question, you can be rest assured, that this plant is going to not only stay in an open space with that logo, or maybe it's a message of gratitude on the pottery. But the plant's going to keep it in that area because it's going to be something people want to look at. They want to display. You don't put plants in cupboards, so it's not like another, water bottle or something like that that's just going to go into the rotation, right? With the 30 other water bottles a household might have. No, this is going to have its own space in the house. It's going to be in a high vis area 95% of the time,
Yeah.
and it's something that's going to bring a constant reminder of your connection to that partner. And you mentioned something before we went to the break with the show footage. You mentioned you were talking about the connection to a team, to a partner, right? And how if something's not going right, or maybe someone had a bad mouth, whatever, they're thinking about canceling a contract, or maybe somebody comes in with a better offer. When you have that personal touch, that little touch extra as a rep, whether it's solar or you're selling SaaS, there's an inclination for a lot of people just to natural, just people are kind. They want to reach out. Hey, can you do a better deal, right? And then at least gives that rep last right of refusal before their business goes away. So it does establish a slightly stronger connection with your customer base, and it makes it stand out because, like, you're right. So many people want to kind of just sell and move on, be transactional, but this is just that extra thing. You can still do that, but if you add this to your mix, gives the appearance that you're not just doing that. And then, of course, back to the longevity, it's going to last for quite a while in that space.
Come over and they're going to talk about it, and I think that it's we know one of the behavioral strategies is reciprocity. Like
Yep.
when you give something to someone, then they feel naturally inclined to give back, and they've already given you the contract and the sale, but they're just going to like you more, and that works too.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so, I think another thing is that I really love is like that you guys are always doing these different holidays, like your little Christmas tree. And so where do you come up with the ideas and how often are you adding new product array?
Yeah. So, first off, when we look at, fun little seasonal ideas, we look at when do people want to send gratitude to people? When do people want to send thanks? Because most of our clientele is in the corporate space at some level. So on a sales side, you're sending thanks throughout the year, but on a corporate side, you're sending thanks around the holidays. And then there's all these sort of, I call them HubSpot holidays. That's just my term for them. But all the holidays that come up in the springtime, like Employee Appreciation Day, Assistance Day, Dentist or Nurses Day, right? There's all these, Earth Day, Arbor Day, Graduation, Mother's Day. they all kind of pop up in a 3.5 month period from Valentine's Day through to Mother's Day. And so there's just a ton of opportunity to offer something that is unique, is limited, and really does convey that really nice touch of gratitude to people. So that's the first way that we kind of look at how we're going to develop different products for different periods of the year. And then when we look at bringing new products to market in general, because we do have some items that are outside of the plant space, we're looking back to that value prop that I stated at the start of our conversation, which is we want these to be super high value, reasonable cost, and we want them to be in an open vis or high vis area, open space, right? So we don't want to create and bring products to market that are just going to get tossed because they're inferior to the standard that they maybe already have, like a Bluetooth speaker, or it's just going to be another one of those things that they got at another trade show, like a water bottle or something. We want to bring other products to market that are going to have that same sticking power and thoughtfulness to them. It's almost like it's kind of creating a cheat code for those who are buying it if they're buying it for the reason of gratitude. It's low effort on their end. They just see it and think, I prefer this.
And I think that
But
this is critical for right now because
it is.
especially in solar, I mean, as you know, the whole industry is, crying, of course, about the tax credit. I mean, between you and I was very grateful that we got the signal from the administration when we did, because solar was already kind of in trouble. People forget. People have short memories, and
We do. Yep.
right? That's why we call it the solar coaster, because it goes up and down. But before then, people were really like struggling. A lot of my clients were, and now with the changes in search and things are down, consumer confidence, people were afraid, right? And then as soon as they made the distinction, this is going away, that created a huge boost, right? And now we're riding that wave, but now the wave's about to be over. And I have a lot of dealers coming to me, oh, what are we going to do? Now search has changed, ads are not the same, zero click, SEO takes a long time. What I keep reminding them about is it's gratitude, like you're talking about. It's the 80/20 rule of business still applies. Those people who, just because they were a customer a year ago, reach back out to them with a plan, right? They're not gonna, postcard asking for a review. Okay, well, they love their solar, but they're not top of mind anymore. Like, this is really, I mean, if you think about the amount of sticking factor of this, it's like a house billboard.
Mhm. It's exactly what it is. We say that the desk in a workspace is like the Times Square of the office, right? It's where people are going to be. It's where team members congregate for different reasons. So it's not just the eyes of the person at the desk. It's the people walking by. It's the team members catching up on a Monday morning. How was your weekend? It's there, right? And when you newly get it, people say, "Oh, that's cool. I've never seen a plant with a brand on it. It's a relatively new product to the space that we brought in." So it's something that will start conversations. So it's quite an interactive product at the end of the day. But you're absolutely right. Whenever there seems to be maybe like a less certain path forward in an organization with sales and all that, you're absolutely right. It's account growth. It's knocking on doors. Maybe it's somebody you were this close to closing a year ago, and for whatever reason they went a different direction. They might be looking for a new solution, and you might be able to give it to them. They might be in a different financial situation, right? You never know until you pick up the phone and call, or send a plant to say, "Hey, I'm still thinking of you. Let's set up some time to chat."
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. I love that. So what do you think is going to happen next year? Are you expecting I know that there's all this fluctuation with, in consumer trends and tariffs, but the plants, are they American plants? Are they grown here? Are there any concerns about, what do you think is going to happen with plants in general?
Yeah. Plants are grown in Florida and California, so we're good there. They're all American sourced. They're checked, inspected, and approved by the USDA and the different state Department of Agricultures. We get inspected a couple times a year, so we're good, and we're all compliant. Everything's fine on the plant side of things. Pottery, some of it's made overseas, some of it's made domestically. It depends on the line, but ultimately, I I think this year we saw a lot of chatter about tariffs, right? A lot of people had fears, a lot of people were calm, a lot of people had marketing around it. My personal opinion, this is a pretty uneducated opinion, but just from what I've seen, because I do import a good amount, I think it's going to just be business as usual. And if there's a 5% uptick, we can eat part of it, because 5%, if it's a 2000% uptick, like they're threatening at certain times, yeah, that's challenging. But, our Trump just went to Asia and struck a deal with Xi, and apparently the tariff war is being de-escalated quite a bit. So I think in the end, regardless of left, right, center, whatever, people are pro-business in this country. People want to maintain their status of life. They want to believe in the opportunity to grow. And I think that's from the top down. I think people want to continue to provide value to their customers, and that's everybody involved. And our network, our economy, will continue to do well. Boom. I don't know. I don't look, I'm not an economist, but I think it will be relatively business as usual going into the new year.
Plans are pretty safe. I think that's the thing that I think about. Like there's travel trip, a lot of the other incentives are, around like travel incentives, or they're around other different, Visa gift cards and things that people want, of course. But I think that the safest, what I'm thinking is the most, with the long, compared to longevity, also environmental impact, right? Like you're giving something that is not going to be, it's organic, it's reusable, it's not, going to be more plastic.
Yep.
It's something that's sustainable. And another thing that I know is not 100% out yet, but I'm going to like tease it out for my listeners. Pretty soon, you're going to be able to go to the solarcoasterbook.com and you'll be able to, pick one of these beautiful desk plants, upload your logo, and just order one. You can have them in your own office. You won't have to order them in mass. I mean, like there's of course other ways to buy them, but that's going to be, Printify is going to be adding this product soon.
Yep. The print on demand capabilities that we have already, it's just a plug and play basically once we're uploaded and good to go, because people don't, like you said, they don't want to commit necessarily all the time to 50 units, and sometimes just want one, and we provide that capability. We want to be as accessible to our market as possible. Whether you want 1,000 or you just want one, we can cater to you. We can help you out.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, so how do people find out more? Well, I can tell them right now. They can go to solarcoasterbook.com. We have a whole section for Lawrence. And if you want to, set up bulk shipping, we can also, the agency can help with custom API. They also have a whole team that can do API integration so that you don't have to think about anything. It's just plug and play. The opportunity moves and go ahead level or Salesforce or Zoho to contract signed or 1-year anniversary or whatever it may be, and they automatically send the plan, and then you're billed with an invoice. So there's lots of opportunity for bulk shipping, for all different types of ways you want to work together. And the agency can help you, or you can go to deskplants.com.
Yep. And I just quick little plug, if you don't mind, on my end.
Yeah.
You touched on anniversaries, birthdays. It's a great, we're at the end of the year, right? When you're thinking about next year and you want to, maybe it's your internal team or some high value customers, when their birthdays are, because you get that kind of data. You could give us a whole list of all 2026's, birthdays on the VIPs you want to send it to, and we can automate those sends. We don't charge anything to warehouse. We'll keep it on hand. We'll send it out as needed, without you even having to touch anything. As long as we get all the dates up front, we can take care of the rest for an entire 12 months. So,
oh, wow.
That's a good program that I'll give take advantage of as we get into December, when they're starting to think about what they're going to do for those types of gifts in the new year.
It's a great way to budget. Yeah, then let's think about it, and then it's going to be much easier. And I also love that we were able to give you, we ordered our own postcard, and then you just inserted them for, into clients' mail. That was super cool.
So it comes, a nice little message. So you know who it's from, what it's for, and it just adds that holistic, experience when somebody receives it. Because a plant's nice, but it's also nice when you know who it's from and why they're getting it, and maybe add something else in there, maybe an offer or something like that.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's so great. Thanks so much for being here, Lawrence. And everyone who's listening, you can also check out the Covert Code. We had an episode together where we talked more about business strategy. It was very popular. So the covertcode.com, and you can see Lawrence's podcast there about desk plants. And please join me next week as I interview another industry expert to help you ride the roller coaster of solar. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, Alan.
Hop on the solar coaster, come along for the ride, yeah. Where sunshine meets stories and bright futures collide. We're sparking up ideas with laughter.